The Monster Below by Greenback, read by Deathlight, Chapter 27, Consequences. I try to scream for mercy, but I can't. Everything's black. I can't see anything, or even move. Oh, Celestia, am I still awake? Am I going to be aware and conscious while being a statue? Please, Celestia, not that. Please, anything but that. Wait, calm down. I'm breathing. Air's moving through my nose, and even though I can't see, I can move my eyes and blink. That means I'm not a statue. I try to move, and realize that's not entirely true. I can't feel my legs, body, or even my mouth. It's as if I'm disembodied, able to breathe and move my eyes, but nothing else. But worse than the feeling of disembodiment, and even the darkness, was the complete and utter silence. It's as if I've been buried within the earth. Wait, no, it can't be. Could this be the tunnels underneath Satalanka? Does the Furious Guardian steal me away and leave me down there as punishment for what I have done? I could be like the Cursed King, left in the darkness forever without any hope to escape. Oh, Celestia, please, not that. Please don't let that be true. I try to move, to scream, to do anything. Taking in deep, ragged gas through my nose. But my struggles are for naught. I can't move, nor flex the slightest bit. I can only remain perfectly still, lost in the darkness and silence. Wait, what's that? Is that a light? Compared against the darkness, it's so bright, I have to squeeze my eyes shut. And when I open them again, I'm hoping that I find that I'm not abandoned to the darkness forever. But there's no rescuer for me, not even a tormentor. It's a Pegasus pony dressed in a white doctor's coat. Wait, what in heaven's name is a doctor doing down in the tunnels beneath Satalanka? I look past her and I realize I'm not in those tunnels at all. The light from the doctor's lantern reveals that I'm in a round cell of some kind. The walls are built of brick and mortar. I can't see the top, giving the impression that I'm at the very bottom of a well so deep, light can never reach the bottom. The doctor looks me over, my panicked breath slow as she scribbles some notes. I try to ask her where I am, if Beatbreaker is okay, but without being able to fill my mouth, I can't talk. Does she know Morse code? Maybe I can blink a message to her. The doctor looks satisfied, then turns and goes to the other side of the room. I want to yell in frustration at having missed my chance to communicate, but that feeling vanishes. It turns out that I'm not alone down here, as Mangus is propped against the wall opposite me. Though his eyes and nose are flesh and blood, the rest of him is a statue. I probably look the same to him, except I have all my limbs intact, and my jaw doesn't dangle like a dead leaf. Mingus's eyes dart back and forth. It's fascinating to watch him realize he's no longer on the bridge, and to see him go from anger to confusion, and then to fear as he tries to figure out what's going on. He regards the doctor for only the briefest of moments before he spots me. Like me, he can't talk, but there's no mistaking the murderous rage in his gaze. The doctor finally finishes her inspection, and with a flap of her wings, flies back up, taking the lantern with her. The light fades, then I silently plead for her to come back. But as she fades from view, the darkness embraces Mangus and I once again. I have no idea how long I'm left in the darkness. Without any way to tell time, it could have been an hour or only a few minutes. How long am I going to be left down here? My only consolation is that at least I'm not in the tunnels of Satalanka. To try and pass the time, I try to figure out where the cell could be. Considering how I've never heard of any jail cells like this one, it stands to reason that this is only used for the most dangerous of prisoners. Considering its depth, the cell is probably inside a mountain or deep underground. It's probably remote too, located somewhere not easy to access. That's as much as I can deduct. With nothing else to do, I'm left to wait. Time passes. What's taking so long? A new thought comes to me. Perhaps Mangus and I are turned over to some secret task force that handles the most dangerous medical threats Equestria faces. Maybe they took us to a secret, unmarked facility where they plan to keep us here. But as what? Are they gonna release us from stone? Are they gonna turn us to stone and keep us like that forever? Or worse, are they gonna keep us as we are, both flesh and stone? Can someone survive like that? And for how long? No, I can't think like that. Madness lies down that path. And besides, no pony's that cruel. We don't torture or make others suffer for the sake of suffering. Whoever put us here will come back. They have to. Don't they? I don't know how long it's been, but at last, the light appears once more. The doctor flies down, stopping as she goes to light candles embedded within the walls, slowly illuminating the chamber with the glow of dozens of dancing flames. Landing, she puts the lantern down and goes to the side, as if making room for someone. Across from me, Mangus is as confused as I am. 4 ponies come down, 2 Pegasi and 2 unicorns. They're all dressed in bizarre armor I've never seen before, colored purple and black, with what appear to be webbed frills upon their helmets, and blue cat's eye on their breastplates. Are these the keepers of the place? Guards perhaps? Interrogators? Something more sinister? Wait, I have seen these guards before. Not personally, but back in storybooks when I was a cult. But who are they? I try to remember. Wait, that's it. They're royal guards, specifically they're the guards for... No, it can't be. She actually can't be. A large shadow falls across the floor as the guards snap to attention. I strain my eyes to look, but there's no mistaking who flies down from above. And unlike the library, this isn't a facade of papier-mâché and cardboard. This is real. With her giant wings beating, Princess Luna lands beside her guards. I forget to breathe, awestruck at seeing the Princess of the Night standing before me. She's dressed in a shimmering black cloak, and even more beautiful and awe-inspiring than the pictures and drawings I've seen of her. Seeing them in a book is one thing, but seeing the real sisters in the flesh is almost unreal. As if it's some kind of dream. Luna looks to Mangus, and then her cyan eyes meet my own. I watch her, and if I could shudder, I would. The Princess of the Night is looking at me. Luna holds my gaze for a moment longer, then turns to the doctor. The two of them talk for a while. The doctor nods, and Luna's horn glows. Magic flows to me, enveloping my head. I panic, fearing that Luna was gonna suffocate me or make my head explode. But she does neither. Feeling returns back to my mouth and ears. And I take deep breaths, relieved that I can hear her once more, and breathe through my mouth. Turning to Mangus, Luna performs the same spell. And as soon as his shattered jaw is exposed, she performs another spell, healing it completely. But there's no gratitude on his end. You! He howls, glaring at me. When I get out of here, I'm gonna rip your... Silence. Luna says, it isn't a yell, but the power in her voice cowers even Mangus. Neither of you are going anywhere. You have been turned to stone and shall remain that way until my sister and I decide on a resolution to what has happened. Until then, you have my word that neither of you will be harmed. Where are we? Mangus demands. We are in a cell designed to hold the most dangerous of magical beings. Luna says, the two of you have inflicted extreme damage upon Manhattan. It must be contained for your own safety and the safety of others. Mangus tries to struggle. Both of you have been accused of attempting to destroy Manhattan. I'm here to determine the truth. Before we begin, is there anything either of you wish to say? Yes, I do. Mangus says, others may try to portray me as a vicious killer. I admit, I did kill ponies to get their horns, but I only did that to stop him. He glares at me. He was planning to kill everyone in the city so he can take over. I knew nobody would listen to me, so I take drastic measures to stop him. In a way, I'm surprised that Mangus can come up with a lie like that so quickly. But then again, he probably lied to authority figures all of his life. Luna gives no sign. If she believes Mangus or not, she turns to me. Silverspeak, do you have anything to say? He's lying. Don't listen to him, Princess. He's gonna try to manipulate you so you don't realize the truth. He's done before. He's even made her record a confession. It strikes me that Princess Luna would make a magnificent poker player, as her expression remains unchanged. There's many ways to reveal the truth of Mangus Bluehorn. What's not in dispute is that great damage has been done to Manhattan, and so many innocent lives have been lost, and many more have been crippled. What we don't know is who the responsible party is, as we have testimony that supports many views. You should know that it was Silverspeak all along. Mangus says, pleased with himself. After all, look at everything he's done. And that horn of his can conjure spells to confuse everyone around him. Perhaps, but there's one foolproof way to settle the matter. Luna's horn lights up. I will perform a memory spell on both of you, which will allow my sister and myself to see who caused this event. Mangus' smile vanishes. Against such spell, he is defenseless, unable to keep anything secret. Neither will I for that matter. You will not lose any of your memories, nor will they be altered in any way. This will simply create a copy for us to review. She turns to Mangus, who sweats profusely. He's on the verge of panic, knowing that he can't stop what's coming. No! He screams as Luna's horn touches his forehead. No! Luna closes her eyes, and a blue magic passes from her horn to Mangus' head. His screams are cut off as he twitches. It's like his brain's being scrambled, the circuits misfiring, making it impossible for him to do anything coherent. The process lasts nearly a minute, and when Princess Luna pulls away, a glowing ball of green energy slips from Mangus' head. Mangus' face goes limp, exhausted. One of the guards holds up a large crystal. Luna directs the ball towards it, where it vanishes inside, causing the crystal to glow a bright green. With the matter taken care of, Luna turns to me. I gulp. Will it hurt? I ask, glancing at the still stunned Mangus. Only if you resist. Luna tells me. I could plead and beg for her not to do this. I could even try my charm, but that would only delay the inevitable. I gulp and close my eyes. I feel Luna's horn touch my forehead, and a surge of energy passes into me. And it feels like there's something slithering through my mind. I try to shake my head, but I remember Luna's words and do my best to remain still. It's not easy, and by the end, I'm starting to sweat. But Luna finally pulls her horn away. Panting, I open my eyes and see a green ball of energy floating before me. That ball, that has all my memories and thoughts. Before I can contemplate the ball further, it's put into a crystal. And both crystals are put into a special container that seals shut. My sister and I will review these memories. Because this might take several days, we shall petrify you both. What? Mangus shrieks. The process is painless, and you will not be aware of anything. Luna assures us. It will be as if only a few seconds has passed. You can't do this! You can't, Owl! He's cut off as his mouth is frozen in place. And then the rest of him, turning into a statue once again. Luna turns to me, her horn lighting up. Don't be afraid, Silverspeak. As I said, it'll be as if a few seconds have passed. I gulp. Princess, is Beatbreaker safe? Luna pauses. I am not familiar with whom you speak. She's a zebra. I was with her on the Manhattan Bridge. She was injured. I tried to heal her, but I don't know if she was hurt when the bridge was damaged. Why do you ask? She's a friend. Luna regards me for a moment. I will inquire to her medical condition. Before I can say anything more, Luna's horn lights up and everything goes. It's black. I blink. Luna and the guard stand before me, but the container is gone, and as is the doctor. Wow, Luna wasn't kidding and how it seemed like only a second had passed. Mangus is awake as well, and just as disoriented. The thought that both of us were statues for days is unnerving, even though I didn't know how long it was. It must have been a while though, because Luna looked different than before. Where she was previously neutral and emotionally uninvolved, she now looks sad. My sister and I have reviewed your memories, and we now have a complete understanding of everything that happened. She looks to Mangus, and her sadness is tempered with anger. Mangus Bluehorn, we know that you're the one who initiated the attack on Manhattan. Mangus sweats. Because of your actions, hundreds of ponies are dead. Dozens have lost their horns and will be crippled for decades to come. But what is worse is that you planned such an attack, and it was only for your own glory. What do you have to say for yourself? Mangus is on the verge of panic. Your spell is wrong! He yells. Silverspeak, he implanted false memories into my mind! Do not lie. Luna says, the tone in her voice warning him not to press his luck. I'm not! It's his fault! It's all Silverspeak's fault! He made me do it! He's... Silence! Luna bellows, the walls shake, and Mangus instantly cowers, realizing that he's facing a power that's far beyond his own. Luna calms herself, and her voice returns to normal. Silverspeak shall face the consequences of his actions momentarily, but your moment of judgment has come. You can't judge me! Only the courts can! I demand a trial! Normally you'd be granted one, but because of the nature of your threats, and the magic that you wield is dangerous to all of Equestria, my sister and I must act to prevent further damage. You have anything to say before I announce your judgment? It was clear that Mangus couldn't win this, and he knows it. No excuses will differ what's coming. And from Luna's tone, it's serious. Will he beg for mercy? I wonder if he'll break down and cry. He's never faced anything like this in his life, especially a situation where forces more powerful than him are in control, and there's nothing he can do about it. Perhaps if he realizes the horrors of what he has done and actually repents, the sisters might actually show him mercy. But Mangus does none of those things. Instead, he narrows his eyes in the final show of defiance. Do you know what I want? He hisses. You can judge me all you want, but I was only taking what was rightfully mine. I was meant for great things, and only doing what was needed to make them come true. And I will make it happen. Nobody, not you, not Silverspeak, not even your sister will stop me. I'll be the greatest unicorn ever. Luna watches Mangus for a moment before shaking her head. No, you won't. She stands tall. Mangus Bluehorn, for your premeditated destruction of property and the manipulation and murder of innocent ponies. It is the decision of the Royal Sisters that you shall be permanently stripped of your wings and horn, and spend the rest of your life in the Canterlot dungeons. While you will never again know freedom, I hope you may one day regret your crimes, and that you begin the path to repentance and redemption. Mangus is so shocked he can't even speak. For a long moment, he just stares at Luna. Then he shakes, his face contorts into what hatred would look like if it had physical form. And then he screams, a sound of utter anger and despair. He initially directs it towards Luna, then turns to me, as if trying to destroy me with the force of his hate. Luna's horn lights up, and Mangus's mouth turns gray as he's silenced once again. Luna turns to the guards. Guards, leave us. I will join you shortly. The oldest guard glances at me. Ma'am? I assure you, Captain, I am capable of defending myself. The guards glance at each other, but nod and bow before going beside Mangus. The Pegasus ponies fly upwards, and the unicorns use their magic to follow, leaving the three of us alone. Luna walks to me. My sister and I have reviewed your memories as well, Silverspeak. And I've seen the crimes you committed, including trespassing and assault. Do you deny this? If they've seen everything, there's no point in lying. I shake my head. Your crimes may be less serious than Mangus, but there are consequences for what you have done. I shake. Silverspeak, for the crimes you have committed, it is the decision of the Royal Sisters that you have your wings and horns removed, upon which they shall be destroyed. And for your actions of trespassing, assault of other ponies and law enforcement officers, and drugging others in a way that might lead to harm, you will spend the next 20 years in the Camelot dungeons. A numbness far greater than I have ever known hits me. 20 long years locked in a cell. This is a fate chosen by the Real Sisters themselves. There is no one I can appeal to, no higher court I can petition for leniency. I'm gonna spend the next 2 decades of my life locked away from someone I loved. I closed my eyes, trying to keep the tears from slipping down my cheeks. I failed. A sob I tried to stifle back, only to fail again. However, I opened my eyes confused. There's more. Luna eyes me. There are many who say you're a monster, and some who say you should be destroyed. You have manipulated other ponies, Silverspeak. You have lied to make others do what you want. You poisoned your own family. You have caused mass riots and assaulted members of the public. I bit down, almost shouting at her not to rub it in anymore. And yet, when you could have let a security guard be crushed to protect your identity, you chose to save him. You could have used your only friend solely for your own benefits, yet you came to her aid when she needed it. And when you got your powers, you used them to help others. You tried to comfort a child, to help an old man cross the streets, and try to save another from a heart attack. You could have killed police officers and security guards, but you chose to spare their lives. A tiny spark of hope rises in me. You were willing to give up everything to save Beatbreaker. And when the entire city was in danger, you risked your own life to save others. You even saved an entire hospital full of injured ponies when you could have given in to anger and gone after Mangus. She steps in closer. My sister and I saw you never wanted power to conquer and dominate, but only to improve yourself and help others. The Princess of the Night places a hoof beneath my chin. These are not actions of a monster. I can't speak. Because of your action to save hundreds of lives, and the mercy you have given, my sister and I will give you mercy in return. Instead of 20 years in the Camelot dungeon, you will spend only 2. Furthermore, we also noticed your gift for the spoken and written word. Such a talent shouldn't be wasted. Therefore, upon completion of your sentence, if you so desire it, you'll be offered the position of the official speechwriter for the royal court. I can only stare at Princess Luna in shock. This has to be a dream. It can't be real. But it is. I can't stop myself from smiling in relief, nor can I stop the tears from sliding down my cheeks. But I didn't want to. Feeling spreads through me, bit by bit, so I can feel my body again. Until I'm once again fully flesh and blood, save for the spot on my head, where my horn remains solid and unusable. I take a step and nearly crumple from the pain from my rear leg and my exposed ribs. Luna casts her magic upon both. The pain vanishes instantly, and within seconds, I feel whole again. I glance back, and I'm shocked to find my side and leg had been healed completely, without any sign of ever having been burned open. Luna doesn't waste any time in lighting her horn, and we rise into the shaft. I'm momentarily caught off guard at the realization that Luna herself is giving me a ride. But no sooner do I begin to enjoy it than we arrive at the top of the cell, and a heavy set of steel doors. They open as Luna directs magic to them, and I'm momentarily blinded as we emerge into a bright room with white walls. Luna's guards are present and mortified at seeing me freed from a stone imprisonment. He won't cause any trouble, Luna assures them as I'm set on the floor. She sneaks a look at me that says, "Isn't that right?" I nod and look over in surprise. After everything that happened, I've completely forgotten about Mangus. Luna levitated him out as well, and he now stands beside her, still silent. I arrange for May's Bluehorn to be transported to Camelot at once. Luna says. The captain nods and indicated for the unicorn guards to take him. I walk beside him and levitate a stone form off the floor. Heavy bars are threaded through the doors behind us, sealing the cell tightly as the equally sealed doors out of the room is opened before us. The guards leave, followed by Luna, then myself, Mangus, and the other guards, creating a heavily fortified defense grid. Outside the room, we move through a long cell block and several heavily fortified checkpoints. At first, I thought we were in the Manhattan police station, but I realized that this must have been the city's main prison. Mangus and I were considered so dangerous that we were held in the deepest part of the building. When we reached the main gates, the guards braced themselves as they opened the doors. It only takes me a moment to realize why, as countless flashes hit us, along with a barrage of questions from nearby reporters, all desperate for the scoop of seeing Princess Luna scattering the most infamous prisoners of Equestria, and without chains or other manner of restraints. I'm shocked at seeing reporters act in such fashion towards the princess, but maybe they're more interested in me than her. We reached a massive, heavily armored carriage. The several guards get into position on it. I look back to see that Mangus is being carried to another, less impressive carriage. I watch as he goes. Years before, I would have relished the fate that he received. And in some ways, I still do, but there's something I never expected. Pity. In the end, Mangus's dreams, desires, and actions were all for nothing. All the training, privileges, and encouragement he was given as a youth was for nothing. So Ilonka's greatest hope was nothing more than a criminal. And he gotta hear how I would be shown mercy he will never receive, and how I will be given a life he will never know. Mangus's hate-filled eyes glared at me before the doors of his carriage closed and locked. Luna gets in the carriage and I follow. The doors closed behind me. I watched through the windows as the gates swung open, and we roll out, the crowds parting before us. We head down the road, leaving the prison behind. I turn and watch Mangus's carriage leave a moment later, heading in the opposite direction until it's lost from sight. It's quiet inside the carriage, and I lean back against the firm seats, scarcely able to believe that this is happening. Never in a million years did I ever dream I'd be one day riding in a carriage with one of the Rose sisters. I almost had to pinch myself to make sure that this isn't a dream. But as I watched Luna, I realized I have an extremely rare and precious opportunity that few ponies ever have. It's just me and the princess, with no distractions, guards, or advisors nearby. I could ask her anything I want. Where are we going? I ask, figuring to start off small. The Metacomp Tower. The tower is still intact? I could have sworn it was destroyed during my duel with Mangus. It was damaged, but not destroyed. The CO managed to put out several fires that threatened to bring it down. So, he's alive too? She nods. What about my parents? As ashamed as I am to admit it, I had completely forgotten about them when I fought for my life. They're fine, as is your friend Beatbreaker. My heart skips a beat. Is she? Her wounds have been healed, the physical ones at least. She will need therapy and counseling, but she will live. I sighed, sinking into the cushions. Beatbreaker's alive. That's all I care about. Well, not exactly. Did she mention me? She did. I can barely hold back my excitement. And? I felt she deserved to know about your feelings. I offered her a chance to see your memories of her, and she accepted. My heart surges. What did she say? It takes a moment before Luna answers. She said nothing. What? She watched your memories, then left the hospital. She didn't seem angry? Luna shakes her head. She seemed overwhelmed, unable to decide how she felt. My smile fades. I had hoped that Beatbreaker would want to see me. But she just needs time to adjust and recover from everything that's happened. Yeah, that's it. She just needs time to heal. How much? I didn't know, but I'd still be able to see her, I'm sure of it. Luna and I ride in silence for a while. Princess, if you don't mind me asking, why didn't you and Celestia involve yourselves in all this? The wings and legs, I mean. Surely you must have realized how big this was. We were aware what was happening, but my sister and I believed that ordinary ponies have the right to choose for themselves as society should evolve. We will only encourage others to do what is beneficial and intervene to stop immediate threats. It crosses my mind that ponies being able to magically augment themselves seems like a big enough threat, but I decided not to bring it up. Besides, there's one question I just have to ask, one that's been bugging me for years about the situations in Equestria's past. Why send the bears? Why not come out yourself? Surely you and Celestia will be able to resolve it far more quickly. It occurs to me that I, an ordinary pony, would have no right to such questions of the princess. But despite that, she shows no sign of being offended. We have a reason for not wanting to solve every problem by ourselves. But for this matter, I decided to journey with Twilight and her friends to Manhattan. However, I made a stop at Salamanca first. Word just reached us of a creature being discovered beneath your parents' home. The creature and all the chaos and everything that's happened over the past week. I had forgotten about it. What happened? Luna shifts uncomfortably in her seat. What was it? I asked, hoping to learn more about it. I can't say. A creature of the world before my sister and I came to this land. She sighs. There are many deep places where monsters and other nightmares still exist, so to speak. And it remained for the best that they remain there. Luna pulls her cloak back, revealing numerous gashes in her hide, along with a massive slice in her neck. All have been healed, but if they will leave scars, I can't tell. Luna puts her cloak back into place. Whatever it will not harm anyone ever again. By the time I arrived in Manhattan, Twilight and the others had already broken through the dome and stopped you both. We had hoped to persuade you to come with us without the use of violence. But upon learning of the fight taking place, they had no choice but to end it immediately. So, that's why they hit us both. Luna nods. They didn't know if the two of you were working together, or if your next blast would be taking lives. Thus, they had to act as they did. A bit cold perhaps, but logical. The carriage turns a corner and I cast a glimpse of the Medicom Plaza through the window. One other question. The spell Magus was using, why keep such a dangerous spell in the library? Where anyone can get it, why even keep it at all? Why not destroy it? Because to forget about the mistakes of the past would repeat them again. If we were to forget that such a spell exists, we would also forget the consequences of using them. And some spells I fear we may one day need to use again, though I hope that day will never come. But even if it does, those spells we kept under lock and key. And with what happened due to you and Mangus, we will move into Canterlocks, where we may keep a closer eye on them. Mangus might still remember them. Luna nods. I wish we didn't have to do so, but we'll have to modify his memories, so as to remove the spell he used. Wait, a spell to change the memory? Princess, if there's a spell you can use to erase or modify memories, could you possibly use them on me? To remove the memory of everything I've done. Could that be the substitute for prison time? Luna shakes her head. To deny you your experiences, as hard as they might seem, would be denying you the experience to learn from them, and emerge better than before. On a logic level, I can understand Luna's reasoning, but emotionally, I want to press the matter. Luna seems to realize what I'm about to say. What we will do to Mangus is an exception, not the rule. My sister and I took a vow long ago to never modify upon his memories, except when the lives of countless others would be threatened. For to take someone's memories, their personality, and modify it is to change their very essence, their soul. And that is something we never want to do. She goes silent, and it's clear that nothing I say or do will cause her to change her mind. I don't even try to respond. I'd even try, respectfully going silent and letting the matter rest. The carriage comes to a stop and the doors are unlatched. Luna emerges and I follow her into the Medicom Plaza. I'd expected the plaza to sustain heavy damage from the Light of Magus' attack, and sure enough, there was rubble and chunks of building everywhere, both from the tower still standing and those that fell. Cleanup crews are hard at work, making their way around an army of reporters outside the Metacomp tower. Once again, a stage had been erected at the foot of Metacomp. It's crude and more hastily assembled, but a familiar sight. Along with the podium and the CEO himself. He's apparently just gotten out of the hospital, for there were some bandages wrapped around parts of his limbs, and now thick stitches where his horn used to be. But he seemed none the worse for wear. He's giving me a speech for the reporters, probably describing how they'll pick themselves up and rebuild. Luna walks towards the building, I follow, both of us surrounded by guards. And as we go, I have a sinking feeling about why we're here. It isn't long before the first reporter notices us. Like wildfire, all eyes turn to Luna. The photographers and reporters clearly weren't expecting to be in company of royalty. The CEO is the same, in awe of the princes approaching the stage. Your Majesty. Greetings. We would like to have a word with you in private. The CEO almost faints, quickly recovers, he grabs the microphone. If you excuse me, folks, I have some pressing issues to attend to elsewhere. The guards come up, anxious to get going, not wanting to have Luna out in the open. The reporters yell questions, but we head into the tower, leaving them behind. The lobby of Metacomp is empty and undamaged from the fight. Still, the guards remain close to Luna, their eyes scanning every spot where attackers could potentially be hiding. The CEO picks up his pace, so he's next to Luna. Pardon me, Your Majesty, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but why visit us? The tower isn't fully repaired yet, and there's nobody here except for the workers. We're here to have Silver Speak's horn and wings removed. Oh. The CEO is surprised at the blunt answer, but I'm not. I knew that the sisters wanted my wings and horn removed, but a part of me hoped that would come later, after having some time to process it. But it's clearly not to be. Can it be done? The CEO glances at me. Well, yes, but it will take time. I need to gather equipment and supplies and call some of our surgeons. Then we shall wait. Right. There's a lodge you can stay in. It's on the 50th floor. The CEO heads to the private elevator and swipes his card. This is the only elevator that still works. It will take you right there. Luna nods and we get in. One of the guards presses the button and the CEO runs off to make calls as the doors close. Without anyone else wanting to get in, the private elevator speeds to the 50th floor. We get out, the guards automatically positioning themselves by the entrance, leaving Luna and I to relax. I head towards a group of oversized beanbag chairs in the corner, and plop down the closest one. And it's here where I try to focus and psyche myself up for what's coming. But how are you supposed to prepare yourself for losing a dream that you've worked so long to achieve? With my eyes closed, I soon lose track of time. It's only when I hear the princess come over, I look up. Princess, is removing my horn and wings really necessary? Luna sits in one of the chairs. Yes. But can't you train me or someone else use them efficiently? Silver Speak, we don't want to remove your wings or horn out of cruelty, or a desire for vengeance. Others before you wanted to become alicorns, and in ages past, they succeeded, but used magic instead of technology as you have. But over time, each and every one of them failed. Their horns malfunctioned, and their wings would fail. I glanced at my wings, but I used extra strength steroids to attach these. They will still fail. You may delay it, but it will happen. And the same thing will happen with your horn. Every time a pony gave themselves a horn, it eventually failed, and in some cases, drove them mad. But why? It doesn't make any sense. It is because you're not meant to be a Pegasus or a unicorn. You are meant to be you. My sister and I do not quite understand it ourselves, but it is as if the spirit itself rejects the modifications, much like how the body will reject limb transplants if the cells are not recognized. The legs and wings Metacomp made haven't suffered that. Luna nods. The scientists here make great strides, but there's a difference between getting legs and getting wings you're never born with. She reaches out and lifts my chin. While losing your horn and wings are a penalty for what has happened. If you could regain them and be taught to use them wisely afterward, we will allow you to do so. But experience has taught us that can't simply happen. But what about Twilight Sparkle? She became an alicorn. Luna nods. Some ponies seem to have the inherent ability to endure such a change, but such a gift is exceedingly rare. My sister and I can't bestow such a gift, we can only recognize it when we see it. I know the answer before I speak, so Luna shakes her head. I lean back in my chair, covering my face with my hooves and taking deep breaths. While it's reassuring to know that this isn't being done for revenge, it doesn't make things any easier, nor does it soothe the resignation growing inside me. The door opens and the CEO comes into the lounge. Are we ready to proceed? Almost. All the equipment is being delivered, and the surgeons are getting ready, but it's still gonna take time. Then why did you come here? The CEO blushes slightly. Well, word spread you've come to the tower, and now we have some reporters in the lobby who would like to get a statement. He quickly raises his hoof. Not that I want you to endorse Metacomp or anything, but maybe some reassurance or explaining what you're doing here will help calm them down. Luna thanks. It's a valid observation. Very well, I will go. She rises. Captain, please secure the lobby. The captain of the guard quickly gathers for the others and departs down the elevator. When it comes back up, Luna, the CEO, and the remaining guards, and myself go on and head down. But when we emerged, I realized that the CEO had understated how many reporters had been in the lobby. I had figured that there would be probably 20 or 30. Instead, there was probably 100, maybe even more, all jammed shoulder to shoulder. Upon spotting us, they call out with hundreds of questions. Luna heads to the podium. Citizens of Manhattan, she says. At first her voice was loud, like she was adjusting a cry from a balcony, but is quickly toned back. I wish to assure you all that the threat to Manhattan has passed. The participants have been taken into custody, and justice shall be served to ensure that this shall not happen again. Then why is one of them here? A reporter shouts. Luna glances at me. We are taking precautions to ensure that SilverSpeak will not harm anyone else. More questions are shouted, but I don't pay them much attention, instead hanging back. I stretch my wings, wanting to remember the feeling as much as I can. But even that's depressing. I look around for distraction. The CEO hangs back, not wanting to intrude on Luna's talk. What happened to the officers Mangus hurt? I asked. Managed to save most of them. He says, his tone colder, more formal than before. A few bled to death, but the majority were saved. I nodded, relieved to hear it. I still can't believe Mangus would actually go that far. The CEO shakes his head. Keeping me on was a mistake, I admit. I panicked as much as the others after the break-in. But Mangus' style, he's too blunt. You wouldn't believe all the complaints I got. Then why wasn't he fired? You trying to accuse me of something? I quickly shook my head. I wanted to, but my partners were too jumpy. They overruled me every time I brought it up. But never again. We're gonna start doing mental evaluations and background checks on everyone from here on. References, personal connections, the works. It doesn't matter if you're a janitor, a scientist, or even a secretary. Taking the hint, I let the conversation die out. Whatever happened to Mangus anyways? The CEO asks. He's being taken back to Canterlot. The princess has decided he's gonna be spending the rest of his life in the dungeons. The CEO gives a faint smile. Good. Our chat is interrupted when I hear a reporter shouting my name. Mr. SilverSpeak, is it true that you're trying to eliminate Mangus Bluehorn as a competitor? The rest of the crowd turns to me. I'm not sure if I should answer or even talk for that matter. I look to the princess for guidance. She seems unsure herself, then steps back from the podium. Apparently, she thinks I should have a chance to speak. I walked to the podium and faced the large crowd before me. No. I say, surprised of how subdued I sound. I was not. Then why did you fight him? Because he was killing ponies, I had to stop him. So he could take his powers? I feel a surge of anger, but it mellows out quickly. I'm not in the mood for explaining myself or trying to reason with these ponies. No, any pony should not rely on the tabloids for his sources. It makes you look bad. If they got the message, I didn't know. Another reporter speaks up. From what the princess has told us, you're gonna undergo a procedure to ensure that you won't hurt anyone else. Are you undergoing this willingly? I ponder my answer. Princesses have decided that my horn and wings shall be removed. I will obey their will. That surprises the crowd, but the reporters aren't satisfied. But if you set out to become an alicorn, then you succeeded. Are you really gonna give up that easily? Every eye in the area focuses on me, and for the longest moments, I wonder what to say. It could be seen as that, yes. I succeeded at getting what I wanted, but maybe we're not ready for it. It's taking the deaths of so many and the destruction of so much for me to realize that maybe we're not ready for this technology. I take the microphone and look out at the crowd. I'm just one pony, but so is Mangus. Look at what the two of us did. There's no doubt that many others throughout Equestria would want to become alicorns, or something they're not. And perhaps maybe that's a good thing. But I've learned without wisdom, aspiration can destroy us. I didn't have the wisdom to use magic. Mangus didn't. And maybe all those who want to become alicorns didn't either. I don't know. Then are you saying we should destroy this technology? The reporter watches, wondering what I'd say. They have to wait because it takes me longer to find my answer. I don't know what Metacomp and Beatbreaker have created has the potential, I think, to do great good or great evil. It's like dynamite. In the past, it was used to blow up other ponies in war. Now it's used to create tunnels and destroy landsides. I glance back at the CEO. Maybe it should be destroyed, but it has the potential to do so much good. Crippled ponies can walk again. Pegasus ponies can fly once more. It's only when ponies like Mangus and myself use them to turn ourselves into something we're not that it hurt others. The tool isn't what's evil. What matters is how you use it. I glance movement in the corner of my eye. The CEO's walked up to Luna and whispers something in her ear. She takes the podium and I step back. I will answer more questions at a later time. But right now we must leave. Thank you all for your time and patience. The reporters still shout questions, but Luna heads to the elevator. The CEO opens it, and we all step inside, the guards being the last ones in. The doors close, and things go silent as we ascend. The elevator takes its time, giving me ample opportunity to try to steady myself for what is about to come. I want to thank you for what you said down there. The CEO says, I almost expect you to say we should destroy everything. The public certainly wants to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But with what you said, well, maybe it might help change their minds. It was the least I could do. Before all this happened, I enjoyed working here. And you were the best boss I could ever ask for. The CEO seems surprised to hear that. He doesn't know how to respond, and has several moments before he does so. And you were one of the best employees I could ever want. He extends his hoof. After all what's happened between us, it's uncomfortable to reach out. But after a long moment, I do so, and we shake. You know, the CEO says, historically, when new technology is created, it's resisted strongly at first. But eventually it becomes accepted, and ponies wonder how they could ever live without it. And one day, you may be seen as the one who started it all. Beatbreaker was the one who came up with the legs. True, but without you, we may not have ever got them. And without you, the wings might remain as a dream as well. She may have started the process, but you were the one who paved the way. I would have never thought to look at it that way before. The thought comes with me as the elevator finally comes to a stop and the doors open. We've arrived. I step into the familiar hall of the surgical complex. It's still damaged and faint traces of blood can be seen on the floor. The CEO leads the way down the hall and I follow him to the operating room. The door is open and several ponies dressed in surgical scrubs. They pause upon spotting me and I can tell they weren't debriefed on who they were operating on. I keep my expression resigned and my posture slumped to indicate that I have no interest in fighting back. It works, but they're more astonished at the sight of Princess Luna and her guards. I look over the ponies, wondering if Beatbreaker is among their numbers. She's not. She gave me the gift of wings, but she will not be the one to take them. As they finish dressing themselves, the ponies stand beside a gurney and waited for me to get on. Luna and the others wait as well, expecting me to go on. When I didn't, they eyed me, wondering if I was having second thoughts. They're right, for I am. It's one thing to know that I have to do this, but it's something else entirely to stand before the gurney and be confronted with the stark, uncaring reality that this is the final moments I'll ever have with my wings and horn. For one of the longest moments of my life, I hesitate, unsure. A part of me wants to run and keep what I have, while the other part of me wants to get this over with. Princess Luna herself has told me that this has to happen. I can't defy her, no matter how badly I want to. But still, a part of me wants to run. But I don't. These wings and horns brought nothing but suffering, and I also made a promise. Beatbreaker was returned to me, and I needed to hold up my end of the bargain. I walk to the gurney and climb on, laying back against the sheets. The surgeons go to work, sinking needles and tubes into my body. I remain still, allowing them to do their work, and not even wincing at the pain of the needles piercing my veins. When everything is ready, the gurney is wheeled through double doors and into the operating theater. And I can't help but notice the irony of where we are. This is the theater where Beatbreaker turned me into a Pegasus. This is where my dream came true. Now, it's where I've come to an end. The table is wheeled beneath the lights and clamped into place. As the surgeons gather their scalpel, thread, and scissors, I breathe deeply, keep myself calm and centered. I stretched my wings, then looked at them, admiring the feathers. How the colors so perfectly matched my body, it seemed that they were created just for me, and not produced in some mass assembly line. I flap them. I'll always be able to fly again in my dreams, but I want to remember this moment. Then I remember what's upon my head, what I truly wanted all those years. Stretching up, I touch my horn, still stone. And I can't even feel it, but it's there. And it's my horn, even if I had it for a little while. But at least, on my deathbed, I can say that I got one. A surgeon walks beside me, a rubber mask in hand. I hold my horn for a moment longer, then let go. The mask goes over my snout, and a familiar smell of rubber comes rushing back. I close my eyes and take several deep breaths. I hear the hiss of the gas canister being opened, and I feel myself getting drowsy. I don't fight it. Then everything falls away as the darkness takes me. I awake, consciousness returning to me. I'm surrounded by a wet warmth, and I remember the sensation. I'm floating inside a recovery tube, with a breathing mask over my snout. Even though I'm awake, I'm also very tired and want to go back to sleep. I want to go back to the darkness and remain, where there are no worries, no confusion, no anger or sadness about dreams and losing what I've always wanted. But as I start to roll, I stop. There's an ache on my shoulders. Turning my head, I look, seeing that they're bare. The wings are gone. I knew the moment was inevitable, but I still reach out and touch my shoulders. My hopes going over the stitching. I reach up and touch my forehead. Where my horn was, there's only stitches and tender skin. I float there, feeling an emptiness I've never known. But through the gel, I notice something. Pushing myself to the edge of the tube, I peer through and spot another tube nearby. It too is full of gel, but there's no pony inside. Instead, my horn and wings float inside. I try to turn away, not wanting to look, but I can't, so I watch them. I watch them for a long time.